It's kind of helpful when you're plein air painting, and it's this. Now this is a viewfinder, so if you're going to sort of establish a composition, these are cut to more or less the form factor that the canvases are, and you can just judge your composition by using this. You put it off there to one side or whatever. You can crop in whatever, and obviously you'd be doing that with the landscape. I've also cut a square one here, which some people like to paint on square canvases. They're useful sometimes. And I've also got a kind of a letterbox style contraption here, just a flap that comes down and turns into a letterbox style, and I'll show you now how I constructed it. You can use any old bit of cardboard, your mount board or something like that, something with a decent sort of bit of stiffness and that you can still cut quite easily. So so that's the kind of backing board that you have in some frames, and that's the kind of material that I used for this. And I just cut the form factor, the ratio that I needed, that's like the canvases that you buy in the shops. I cut one there. I cut a square version of it here, which in fact folds over there, just makes it more convenient to actually hold in your hand, rather than have a completely separate one. I scored it down here, and then stuck a bit of duct tape on the back of it just to reinforce it, and then I just cut another piece along here completely from the original bit of board, and just made it up to the kind of letterbox shape that you might find as a canvas. And I mean, I didn't have one to use as a guide, but it would be something like that would be helpful. So you can just sort of put that down there like that, or across there like that. Now I put a whole load of acrylic varnish over the thing, because I know the oil paint's going to get spilt on it, and it might sort of degrade the material, and it might just help the thing last a little bit longer. But that's what I've done. You can see, let's have a look just at the general size. If I get my ruler, that sort of hole there is what in imperial was about sort of 4.5 inches by 3 inches, something of that order. You don't want it to be too small, because you have to hold the thing up too closely to your eye, and then sort of your eyes are as bad as mine. You can get a bit confused. It becomes very blurred. So it's reasonably sort of small. You can see compared to the size of my hand. But it's up to you what size you want. You can buy these things in the art shops, but I don't think you really need to buy them. And this is just as good. There are fancy ones where you can slide something across, and then they might have wires going across to help you sort of guide you to your composition. But that's what I did, and it's a useful thing to have.